All right, so I think we're live. Hi, everyone. How's it going? This is my first time doing a live members Q&A, so I will admit I'm a bit nervous. I don't think I've ever done live on YouTube before. But to get started, I just want to let everyone know how this is going to go. So during this meetup, and we're so glad that we have you all here, we're going to give you the sort of rundown and update on what's been going on with Home Debate Club and Smart School Councils. And then we're going to open up for questions from all of our lovely members, because I'm sure a few of you have just some questions that you're burning to ask. And then we also do want to let you know, bringing it back to the core program and the class meeting tool, we want to let you know who our class meeting champions of this school year are. And we also are going to tell you a few of our ideas of how we're going to be improving the class meeting tool in the future. So welcome. Thanks for joining us. I guess the first thing to do before we get through all of that is we should probably introduce ourselves, shouldn't we, Sam? So if we've never met, which we probably have, or you've gotten an email from either Sam or myself, my name is Kyla, the membership manager, but you might also recognize me from Home Debate Club, having to listen to my great explanations of what's going on with our debates. And with me today, I have Sam. So Sam, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm infinitely less famous than Kyla, I think. But yeah, I'm Sam. I'm head of programs, and lots of our members will recognize me as well, I'm sure.
Perfect. Well, we're both really excited that you guys are joining us. And again, if you have any questions, do let us know. So first thing though, we want to check to make sure that this thing is set up properly. Like I've told you, this is my first time going live, so bear with me. So to make sure that everything's set up and ready to go, if you guys could comment and let us know who you are, and then given the fact that it's still snowing where I am, I'd like to know how you guys are all finding the snow, if you've gotten any from this so-called beast from the east. To kick us off, though, Sam, you want to tell us how you're feeling about the snow?
It's not snowing where I am. It hasn't snowed at all where I am, but allegedly it's due to come in on the weekend. If it were to happen, I'm one of those adults that behaves like a child when the snow comes along, so I'd be very excited for it as and when.
Yeah. Me personally, I love snow when I don't have to shovel. So this is like the best type of snow whatsoever because I don't have to shovel snow and it's just falling quite beautifully outside the window. So that's great. If anybody wants to let us know who they are and how they feel about the snow, we'd really love to hear it. And as we're waiting for those to come in, we might as well, get started. So, Sam, do you want to give us a sort of update on what's been going on with Home Debate Club? Because I'm sure everybody's dying to know.
Yeah, so thanks, Kyla, and you're doing an admirable job, by the way, for your first time. So please don't feel nervous. Yeah, so I guess since we last held one of these as an organization, quite a few things have changed in the world of Home Debate Club, and also with the world of education and where we are as a society as well. So um, we are pleased to say, and I'm sure you know if you've joined in, that Home Debate Club's going very well at the moment. And I think one of the reasons it's gone very well is because of the changes we've made. So the major one being that we don't come live at a fixed point in the week anymore. We're not being Joe Wicks. What we've changed is to make the debates accessible at any point during the week for schools and for families at home. And I think that's had a huge effect upon, I guess, one of the issues we used to have, which was where our members were trying to find time for Home Debate Club during the school week. And giving that flexibility has meant a huge, I think, increase in participation in this lockdown. What number lockdown are we in? I think it's lockdown number 3. Somebody's telling me I'm a bit quiet. Thank you for letting me know. I'll move a bit closer to my microphone and hopefully you can hear me better. How's that? Yeah, so I think that's one of the biggest changes that we've seen. And I guess the other change from maybe this time last year or near to this time last year was that we focus almost exclusively on Key Stage 2 with Home Debate Club as a resource now, which I think is where it belongs. I think that's where it fits most comfortably with young people and their access to it and the way that it's pitched as well. So, yeah, I'm glad it's better. Glad you can hear me much better. I didn't miss too much other than to say that Home Debate Club, we've put a lot of work into it. It's going really, really well. And I guess what we're interested in talking to our members about, which is what I'll end this bit with, Kyla, is one of the big things that we spend a lot of our time thinking about is really good questions. I think that a home debate club is only as good as the question that we ask every week. And it is very apparent to me that our members are a potential resource for helping us to come up with some fantastic questions. So if you are up for it, and you have any ideas, we'd love to hear from you as about a subject or a theme or a topic that you think would make a fantastic home debate club that thousands of young people will get into across the country. So if you've got any immediate ideas, pop them in the chat box. It would be great to hear them. But if you want to spend a little bit of time considering it, because that's what we do, right, Kyla? Then send us an email and let us know what you're thinking. So yeah, that's Home Debate Club. If you haven't been using it yet with your school, we definitely encourage you to do that. As we said when we were here a year or so ago, the purpose of this is to continue the vital work of student voice when students are at home. I think it does that extremely well. So thanks very much, everyone. It's glad to see Kerry with us as well. Do have a think about some potential questions you'd like to see asked, because we'd love to hear from you. How's that, Kyla?
I think that's great. And I just want to add to it, welcome Sandy as well. Glad that both you, Carrie, and Debbie are here and commenting. We really love that. But when it comes to the Home Debate Club questions, we're always looking for ideas. And we know that we've been asking a lot of pandemic related questions. And maybe you're kind of catching on if you've done Home Debate Club this week, that we're trying to see if people want us to focus on something else as well. So um, if you have a non-pandemic related question, something that your students are dying to, see what the nation is, feeling on it, do send it to us. We'd love to get that up and running and included in our next Home Debate Club. All right. Well, that's the Home Debate Club update. I do want to give everybody a sort of quick update on how, or rather what, the rest of the Smart School Council's program is going on during lockdown. So first, I just want to say all of our members are extremely amazing. They've been really great at adapting to another lockdown. It's our third one, I believe, the second one where schools are actually absolutely shut. So just wanted to say, like, great work, everyone. And seeing what you guys have been doing to keep things going with your Smart School Council has been really fantastic. What we've been doing in the meantime is we have been holding CPDs about how to adapt your Smart School Council to lockdown. So that means either doing your Smart School Council remotely, or rather getting ready for when schools do open up and making sure that as soon as they do open up, you're ready to hit the ground running and get pupil voice on a school level going yet again. So if anybody wasn't able to participate in that CPD, just let us know and we will make sure to send it to you in an email so that you can watch the recording of it and hopefully get some ideas. And we're also taking this time not only to help support you guys and answer any questions that you have about running your Smart School Council remotely, but we're also taking this time to sort of reflect on the class meeting tool as well, because we want to make sure that not only is it serving its purpose to help pupil voice within your school, but it's also easy to use and something that you actually want to use and is serving its purpose for you guys. So if you have any suggestions or something that you'd like to see changed in the class meeting tool, do let us know as well. We'd really love to get any feedback on that. So if you have a suggestion, just pop it into the comment box. We'd love to hear it. And with that, what we're going to do now is take any other questions that you guys have from either relating to Home Debate Club or relating to our programs in general. So if you have a question, pop it into the comment box as well.
Am I right in saying, Kyla, that you we've got one question that was sent in to us before we started this Q&A that we might want to answer first?
Yes, we do have one question that was sent in. Do you want me to read it out, Sam, or would you like
Yeah, go
to?
for it.
Yeah, so we had one of our members reach out and ask to us um, about about getting more information on Home Debate Club, and especially with participation with their school. So would you like to answer, Sam, or do you want me to?
You go first. I'll add some comments in.
Perfect. Yeah, so what we're doing for our members, because Home Debate Club is open to the whole of the UK, it's a free resource for everyone. But for our members, what we are able to do is actually send on the data relating to participation within your school and to share it with you. So it's a really great way to see, one, if your students are participating, how many of your students are participating, and then probably most importantly, what their reasoning is, and some of the reasons submitted by students when they're putting forward their argument in their debates. It's just absolutely incredible. And it's really good for teachers to see the reasoning used by their students. And it's also really great if you're needing to, share with your school leadership team, or even with like the inspectors, what you're doing for Pupil Voice during this time. So if you're interested in having that data, just let us know. We can pop it over to you in a quick Excel file, and you can see what your students have been saying and how many of your classes have actually started to get involved.
Yeah, I just want to build on that, if that's okay. I think from a teacher's perspective, that insight is invaluable. I was looking at some of the data from this week's question earlier on today, and reading a student from a school in Yorkshire talking about this sort of obsession with the questions all about, as you may know already, whether we focus too much on the pandemic and that means we miss other things going on in the world. And their reasoning was incredible. They talked about sort of bias in the media. They talked about how politicians might be using coronavirus as a way of diverting our attention from more controversial things going on in the world. It's incredible. I think that if I was in school still, and my students were sharing those really high quality answers and really sort of intellectual responses, I'd want to hear more about it and know where those are coming from. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend giving us an email on a Monday saying, "Hey, I'd really like my school's data from last week," and having a read through it. If not anything else, it's an absolute delight.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of what Sam said, is you for me, when I first started looking at all of the results and reasoning from students, you'd kind of expect, a few of the reasonings to be a bit shallow. A few students maybe doing because, but really the amount of thought that they're putting into their answers is incredible. It's honestly one of the best parts of my day, being able to read the Home Debate Club responses
Mm.
and seeing what young people across the nation are saying. And I know that a lot of teachers who have gotten that data from us, um, they've loved it. They love being able to use it. They use it as a way to also start conversations within their actual classes when they're doing live lessons, if they're using Home Debate Club as like a resource, as a warm up during that time. So it's really great. Highly recommend reaching out to us and having us send on that data to you.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a very comprehensive answer. So do we have any other questions that have come through yet, Kyla?
I haven't seen any other questions that have come through yet. So if you have one, make sure to just pop it into the chat box on YouTube, or yeah, it's on YouTube, or on Facebook if you're there as well.
I guess this could be an opportunity for us to also ask Sandy and Kerry, and I'm going to refer to you as Mr. Bidex. I can't remember what your first name is. Hopefully that's okay. We used to do these sort of live Q&As every month or so when we had the first lockdown. And I guess as a charity, we're kind of trying to work out whether they're useful or not. So if you've got an opinion on that, that'd be fantastic. We'd love to know if they're useful now in this period of uncertainty, whether they would be useful during term time in a world in which schools are functioning in a more normal way. Because yeah, those are questions we have and not ones that we necessarily know the answers to. So if you've got a view on that, we'd really love to hear that, especially so that we know how and when to use this sort of interaction. And if the answer is, hey, you know what, guys, you guys are great. We love listening to you talk when we could do that endlessly, but actually, this not that useful. Then we want to hear that message. So please be honest about it. That would be brilliant. So if you could give us an answer on that, we'll wait for it to come through. And while we're waiting, Kyla, do you want to go to what is the real celebration of our Q&A? which is our last point about our top schools.
Yeah, so one of the things that we wanted to sort of cover in this, members meetup Q&A, was to celebrate all of the great work that our schools have been doing, not just this term, but also last term. So what we've done is we've gone back through to the class meeting data and pulled out some of our top performing schools. So we've had a lot of great class meetings held over the past year. But we've got a few schools that have just kind of gone above and beyond when it comes to holding class meetings. We've got some schools that do them not just weekly, but almost twice a week. So they're really incorporating that class meeting tool and pupil voice into the everyday fabric of their school. So we want to give a big shout out to Danecourt School. I'm going to completely butcher a few of these names. I'm sorry. Doverbecks, and then one of our international schools, the British International School in Budapest. They've actually still been running class meetings throughout all of lockdown, and they've just had some brilliant questions, especially reflecting on the past year in 2020. I think we do have a question. Yeah, from Carrie,
Do you
actually,
want to
Sam.
pause for a second and answer that question, or do you want to keep going with your list?
Yeah, I do. So Carrie's one of our teachers who has been sent the reasoning for her students, and she is asking. She says that it's nice to know which it would. She's asking, sort of. It would be nice to know which year groups who joined in and who it is, and whether or not it's possible for us to provide that information when it comes to Home Debate Club. Sam, do you want to tackle that one?
Yeah, absolutely. I can see why knowing those things from a school's perspective would be really useful. And I think it would be really useful for us to be able to get a sense of how different key stages or year groups also respond with the debates. I guess the reason that we don't currently do it is because all of that data would have to be input by the users. So if you imagine you're about to start a home debate club, it says there, how many people are you debating with and what school do you belong to? And then you start your debate. We'd have to ask all of those supplementary questions, Kerry, at that point. So it would be, what school do you go to? What year group are you in? What key stage do you belong to? What class, whatever. And I'm sure you can imagine that the more questions we ask at that point, setting up the debate, the more likely people are to get bored and not want to do it anymore. And also, I think the other reason why we currently can't do that is that the Home Debate Club is a free resource and a free tool. It's not just something that you, our members, are using. And so we've got an agreement with you as our member schools to share data with you and retain your data and do so securely, which we don't have with other schools who are just accessing it rather for free. And so we couldn't retain that information on them either. So I guess that's why we're currently not doing it. I think the way to look at Home Debate Club is this amazing free and open resource, which is how we've designed it to be. But that isn't to say that, Kerry, we wouldn't want to be able to do something like that in the future. For us as an organization, one of the big things we're considering is when this lockdown ends, and hopefully it ends and not too far away, what do we do with Home Debate Club? And if one of those answers is, or it becomes a school resource, then maybe we can do things like that. So yeah, if would that be useful, Kerry? I guess is my question. If we were to think about how we might use it in a non-pandemic world, let me know if you think that type of information would be invaluable, because that would be the opportunity for us to look at bringing in. I think anything you want to add to that, Kyla?
No, I think you really hit the nail on the head. Since it's a free resource, we just can't retain all that information. And as much as we would love to tell you exactly which of your students are participating and which class is getting involved, it's just not something that's really possible within the tool as it currently stands.
Yeah, definitely. Do we want to? Thanks, Kerry. Yeah, I'm glad that was really useful. Should we have a quick go at answering Giovanna's question as well, Kyla? Because I think it's one that we can point Giovanna to our CPD that we had recently, but maybe a quick go. So the question was, how have other members been using the class meeting tool during lockdown, and have they presented using Google Meets and Zoom?
Yeah, so really glad that you've come along, Giovanna. I know that I've sent you the CPD and we do cover that in there, but I can I can tell you some of the ideas, and I can also see that Sandy has commented about what her school's doing because they are using the class meeting tool during lockdown, which is fantastic. So what Sandy is saying is that they use the class meeting tool, and the teacher shared their screen with the class and then asked the question and gave the options. So rather than doing it in small groups, it's actually done with the whole class. So it becomes a whole class discussion. And Sandy has done this and asking questions with about like remote learning, which is great. And it's amazing to hear that 81% of your pupils, Sandy, are happy with remote learning. That is
Wow.
not a response that I would have expected. So I'm so glad that you were able to get that.
Does this
We've
mean you
all,
can work permanently from home, Sandy, if that's the case? Because I reckon you should be making that argument to SLT otherwise.
I think that's a great idea.
Cool. I think that was a great answer. Thank you, Sandy, as well for helping with Giovanna's question. And it's absolutely check out the CPD. It will help you to formulate a bit more what you can do with the program in the situation we find ourselves in. And then if you want to follow up with that, Giovanna, with a one-to-one with Kyla, then give us a shout because we'd be very happy to do that. So thanks everyone. That was brilliant. Shall we finish off our list of amazing schools and then we'll call it a day?
I think we should. Thank you for that question, Giovanna, and definitely looking forward to helping you out to make sure that we've got things going. So back to our amazing member schools. We've also seen Manchester Enterprise Academy hold lots of class meetings and Valence Primary as well. They're one of our top participating schools, and they also get really involved in Home Debate Club, which we love to see too. We've also got Lime Academy, Larkswood, and then Hardwick Green Primary. And a few of those on the list are ones who are actually, like Sandy, still running class meetings throughout lockdown. It's been great for me getting to kind of go back into our core program this past like 2 weeks and see all of the class meetings that have been set up by our members who attended the CPD or who've been sending emails like asking for support, because seeing that you're using the class meeting tool and adapting it to make sure that your students are, having their voice heard during this pandemic is fantastic. And we're so happy that, you've been able to still use it during this time.
Yeah, amazing. It's fantastic to see what these schools have been up to and what all our schools are up to, whether you're pausing the program and concentrating on Home Debate Club or whether you're trying to adapt it in some way. I think that's brilliant. And I think for us overall, the message is that supporting young people to feel like they're connected to their school community, that they do have a voice, is incredibly important right now. And we're here to help you in every possible way. So thanks so much for coming along, everyone. I thought this was really good. It was good to be back chatting with our members in this more sort of informal way. I think Kyla did an upstanding job at her first attempt of presenting it. So well done, Kyla. And we'll do another one soon.
Yeah, we'll do another one soon, and also be on the lookout for a few emails from us about other CPD kind of ramping things back up once lockdown is eventually lifted. So thank you for spending the last 20 or so minutes with us. If you have any other questions, just send us a quick email. We're always happy to help you guys.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. Great to hear you. Stay safe, and we'll catch you soon.
Yep. Bye.